I did not think there would come a time when I talk about Minecraft on this channel, but I thought the same thing about TikTok as well. I'm not explaining what Minecraft is. If you don't know, go and ask your grandkids. Now, there isn't that many commonalities between the Linux space and the Minecraft space, but there is one. A lot of the big launchers are free and open source software, and one particular launcher caught my attention. PolyMC, when it covered itself in gasoline and lit itself on fire. So this was first made public on the Modrinth Twitter. Unfortunate but urgent announcement to make. If you use PolyMC as your launcher, we are urging all users to switch off it immediately, not tomorrow, today. The main key holder for PolyMC's infrastructure has been compromised. And what was the evidence? Well, this post in the Discord by Lenny McLennington, who is one of the developers. They say it's compromised, but all they mean is that I removed all the contributors' permissions who were promoting radicalist leftist queer ideology, and people really think that I got hacked just because I was never public about hating this. Now, at this point, everybody still thought the developer had been hacked. Like, this dev had given no indication of this being what they thought. Now, I want to make this very clear. The politics of this situation don't matter at all. This guy could be on the complete opposite side of the political spectrum. The way he approached this is just as bad. So what he did over on the GitHub is firstly, delete the code of conduct. This is a modified version of the contributor covenant, which a lot of people don't really like as a COC, and they find it to be very heavy-handed. Now, deleting your code of conduct, perfectly fine. If a project wants to do that, they're well within their rights to go and do so. But the commit he used is intentionally trying to start a fight. So he named it Reclaim PolyMC from the Leftoids and signed it off, which he doesn't do with any of his other commits, with a sneed.church email. Now, a lot of people in my comment section probably know what sneed is. It's a 4chan meme. I'm not getting into that. That's kind of inflammatory, but in the grand scheme of things, not really that big of a deal. The much bigger deal is the GitHub organization. This is basically a group on GitHub that have developer rights, maintainership rights over a project. And a couple of weeks ago, all of these different members were a member. One of them, Lenny McLennington. As of yesterday, Lenny was the only member. He booted everybody from the project. They didn't leave. They got kicked out. But this is where it gets even funnier. He's left the organization as well. And I genuinely don't know why. Because he does have a fork of PolyMC. But this is a fork from 10 months ago. And he was making changes to the main PolyMC as of 16 hours ago. Why did he leave? I don't understand. Now, you may be wondering why he had the power to boot everyone in the first place, because regular developers usually aren't given that power. Well, he wasn't exactly a regular developer. He's not just some random rogue dev that got given those permissions when he shouldn't have been. He is one of the founders of the project. Not only one of the founders of the project, still a really important member. But at this stage, everybody was still working under the assumption that all of his accounts had been compromised. So to try and alleviate those concerns, he posted this in the Discord. For the people who think that my Discord or GitHub account was compromised, I use 2FA anyway, by the way, check out this link. So this link right here takes you to a paste page, including a message that has been PGP signed. And if we check that signature, it's not a trusted signature, so there's no way to verify that both accounts haven't been compromised, but the keys that are available are lining up. Now, even at this stage, you could still believe that multiple of his accounts had been compromised. Where we find out that actually wasn't the case, besides, him saying over and over again, my accounts had not been compromised, is with his Steam profile. Right now, he's made it private, obviously because of the giant backlash, but before it went private, it looked like this. So we firstly have a quote from the Unabomber manifesto, and he's in a group called Theodore J. Kaczynski, which is obviously the Unabomber. But, as we saw before, you could go and add this information in after the accounts had been compromised. What you can't do is go back in time. So he is the administrator of this group. that was made 3 years ago. So we can either say that every one of his online accounts have been compromised and people are adding him into groups and making him the admin of things that'll make him look bad, or when he says his accounts have not been compromised and this is what he actually thinks and this is him actually doing it, that he's the one actually doing it. Also, he says he's from Sussex, which, he very well could be, but it is a giant coincidence if that is actually the case. Now, this man thought he was playing 4D chess. It turns out he wasn't even playing checkers. His plan was to get rid of all of the people he doesn't like, whatever politics he doesn't agree with, and then keep the project going. And the Discord has got some amazing messages in it. Pinging everyone. If you know C++ and Qt or any of the other technologies used in PolyMC and want to contribute, DM me. I'll be reading my DMs later, but I'm somewhat being spammed by people, so it might take a while to find the DMs from normal people. Besides kicking everybody out of the project, the reason he was looking for developers is even though he was one of the founders, he wasn't exactly one of the prominent developers, so somewhere down this list, there he is. He's made 30 commits to the project. Only 30, as opposed to some of the bigger people like Peterix 1743, Flowin 357, Scrumplex 302, 02 Jandal 150, and the list goes on and on and on. Now he and the small group of people that still trusted him were trying to calm people down, because there was this rumor floating around that at some point malware was going to be shipped with the project, or malware was already being shipped, but some of those people weren't doing a great job at calming anyone down. There is also no malware, nor will it ever be added into the project. Whoever is spreading that is probably a coping power mod. This was simply an effort to purge the project of radical leftists and do a little trolling. We are in VC laughing our asses off. There is still an interest in continuing the project in some form. Use whatever you want to use though. Besides having no idea if the GitHub itself is going to have a dangerous commit pushed, a lot of people were worried about the meta server, meta.polymc.org, which is basically a update server, so something dangerous could be pushed from that, and that wouldn't just affect people on the latest version of PolyMC, that would affect every single user. So as a safety measure, everybody was suggesting changing that address to just some random address or deleting it entirely, just until we know what is actually going on. And people got worried again when a commit actually did happen. Update MSA client ID. And if you have no idea about programming, no idea about APIs, this can look kinda scary. But when he says this isn't a big deal, he is being 100% honest here. A lot of people are messaging me about Minecraft accounts being compromised, or whether the MSA client ID gives the owner of said client ID access to your account. When you use the Microsoft Identity Platform to sign into your Microsoft account in PolyMC, PolyMC can then get a token from Microsoft that allows the application to initiate a Minecraft session, which allows you to play online. This interaction only happens between your PC and Microsoft servers. The client ID that I posted earlier, or that was in PolyMC before, only gives PolyMC the ability to request data directly from Microsoft servers, and more importantly, only on the PC where you signed into your Microsoft account. No credentials ever leave the PC where you sign in. It doesn't give the person who registered the application on Azure access to anything. The reason why he had to change the MSA ID is because the person who owned the account on Microsoft was one of the developers he kicked. So he had to go and spin up a new account to make sure that PolyMC would actually still work as a launcher. Now, while being in damage control mode, he's been having a couple of issues. One of those issues being with the AUR. Sorry for another ping, but if anyone knows how to get in contact with an AUR trusted user to get my account reinstated or find out why it was deactivated in the first place, please DM me. Someone deactivated my AUR account without notifying me at all. From my side, the account still looked active, but something did happen. He got booted off of one of the PolyMC packages. So he still runs PolyMC-Git because he's the main maintainer of that one, but on the regular PolyMC package, it's now just Scrumplex and Glorious Yellow. But there's been this big drama in the comments section about whether Scrumplex should be involved because he's not involved with the project anymore, he's gone to something else. And I don't know what's going to happen with this package. I wouldn't be surprised if they both end up getting deleted though. And speaking of things being deleted, PolyMC also uses Open Collective for its donations. And would you look at that, Lenny McLennington is the admin here. And because it's been reported a bunch and people really don't know what's going to happen with the money, the account's been locked. And like any time a project goes rogue or a project dies, a bunch of forks get created. But the one fork that actually seems like has any life is Prism Launcher. The reason for this one is this is being developed by everyone that got booted off the project. And they're pretty much just going business as usual, acting like literally nothing happened at this point. And over on the Flatpak, there is a discussion of what should be done with it, because none of the current Flatpak maintainers have any interest in working with Lenny's version. So they're trying to decide on whether they just delete the Flatpak, delete this repo, hand it over to Lenny if he wants to go and maintain it, or maybe move it over to the Prism Launcher. No one really knows what's gonna be done at this point. Everything is still, like, up for debate. Now, I know someone's gonna be in here to say, he's the founder, he's the admin, he's got the power to do whatever he wants with his project, and he is allowed to do so. And yes, he is absolutely allowed to go and, delete all the leftists, delete the COC, ban everyone from the project. He is allowed to do that. But like we have seen from every developer in the past, regardless of their political affiliation, who's gone rogue and basically destroyed everything with the project, once you do that, you basically spell the complete end of the project. Because, sure, you can say they're allowed to do that, but you've shown yourself to be untrustworthy, so why would anybody want to work with you? Any well-managed repo isn't going to want to work with you because at some point in the future, you might just do something crazy again, and you've taken your name and the name of the project and completely tarnished its reputation and any goodwill you had from the community, all for the sake of removing people you don't like and doing a bit of trolling. There was a sensible way to make this change. What you do is you delete the COC and say, I don't agree with the message of this code of conduct, and I believe this project shouldn't have any political affiliation going forward. We are a Minecraft launcher, and our politics do not matter. Maybe some devs would leave, but the project wouldn't be dead. I know some Minecraft players are freaking out, but at this stage, there is no malware in the project, your account is not going to be compromised, but that is what I can say today. I can't say what the dev is going to do into the future, he might just destroy the project once again. I have no idea. I would highly recommend that you use any other launcher. Whether it's Prism Launcher or you want to go find something else, go ahead. But I don't play Minecraft at this stage, I'm covering this because of the FOSS drama. So if you like this video, remember to go and like the video, and if you really like the video, and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, go check out my Patreon, Scribes, and Robertson, linked in the description down below. I've got a podcast called Tech Over Tea, I've got a gaming channel called Brodie Robertson Plays. That's going to be it for me, and I'm out.